How are you guys doing? Today is Friday, February 12th, 2021, out here in this quarantine. I'm James Sims, and for this episode of The Elite, I'm going to review all of the elite performances and matchups from yesterday, Thursday, February 11th, and of course, I'm going to preview all the matchups to look forward to today as we advance into this weekend as we navigate through the world of sports one day at a time. Starting in the NBA with the primetime matchups that were on TNT, starting out in Houston, the Houston Rockets hosted the Miami Heat, the reigning Eastern Conference champions, and in this game, the Miami Heat were able to beat the Houston Rockets 101-94, especially after outscoring Houston by 18 in the third quarter to get their 11th win of the season. For the Houston Rockets, their leading scorer, there were two players that ended up tying for the team high in points. Off the bench, their shooting guard Eric Gordon would finish with 17 points in 31 minutes, shooting 5 for 13 from the field and a perfect 4 for 4 from the line. And then tie with him, their elite point guard, John Wall, out of Kentucky, would finish with 17 points, 6 rebounds, and 7 assists in 36 minutes, shooting 5 for 13 from the field, 4 for 9 from 3, and 3 for 6 from the free throw line. For the Miami Heat, off the bench, their shooting guard, Max Strus, would finish with 21 points in 25 minutes, as he would shoot 6 for 9 from the field, 5 for 8 from 3, and a perfect 4 for 4 from the line. Their elite starting center, Bam Adebayo, would finish with 10 points, 13 rebounds, 8 assists, and 2 steals, as well as 8 turnovers in 34 minutes as he fouled out. But in the 34 minutes, he would shoot 3 for 8 from the field and 4 for 5 from the line. And the Miami Heat leading scorer would be their elite small forward, Jimmy Butler, who finished with 27 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists. The Miami Heat have been 5-2 since he returned. In 39 minutes, he shot 8 for 18 from the field, 1 for 2 from 3, and 10 for 11 from the free throw line. With this win, the Miami Heat are 11-14, which is the 9th best record in the Eastern Conference currently, as they are 6.5 games behind the Sixers. And with this loss, the Houston Rockets are 11-14 with the same record. They have the second worst record in the Western Conference, 9 games out of first place in that conference. Jumping to the other big game of the night, the Portland Trailblazers hosted the Philadelphia 76ers, the top team in the East. And in this game, the Trailblazers would beat the 76ers at home 118-114 after outscoring the Sixers by 8 to come back and get a very big win at home, especially with some late shots down the stretch. But like I just said, it'll be Portland coming away with the win. For the Philadelphia 76ers in this matchup, their elite point guard Ben Simmons would finish with 23 points, 11 rebounds, and 9 assists in 37 minutes, shooting 10 for 12 from the field and a perfect 3 for 3 from the line. The 76ers leading scorer would be their elite starting center, Joel Embiid, who finished with 35 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 blocks in 35 minutes, shooting 13 for 25 from the field, 1 for 2 from 3, and 8 for 11 from the free throw line. And for the Portland Trailblazers, off the bench, their future Hall of Fame power forward Carmelo Anthony would finish with 24 points in 26 minutes, shooting 9 for 15 from the field, 4 for 5 from 3, and a perfect 2 for 2 from the line. And their leading scorer would be their elite starting point guard Damian Lillard, who finished with 30 points, 2 rebounds, 7 assists, and 2 steals in 36 minutes, as Lillard shot 6 for 21 from the field, 4 for 11 from 3, and 14 for 15 from the free throw line. With this win, the Portland Trailblazers are 14-10, which is the 5th best record in the Western Conference. They are a game behind the 4th place Phoenix Suns. In total, they are 5.5 games behind the Utah Jazz. And with this loss, the Philadelphia 76ers are 18-8, still sitting on top of the Eastern Conference. They are a game and a half over the 2nd place Milwaukee Bucks as things stand in the East. And outside of those two primetime games, jumping to Boston, the Boston Celtics hosted the currently Tampa Bay Toronto Raptors. And the Boston Celtics were able to beat the Raptors 120-106 after outscoring the Raptors in all but the third quarter. In this matchup for the Toronto Raptors, their elite starting power forward Pascal Siakam would finish with 23 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists in 35 minutes, shooting 8 for 14 from the field, 2 for 4 from 3, and 5 for 7 from the free throw line. The Raptors' leading scorer would be their elite starting point guard Kyle Lowry, who would finish with 24 points, 1 rebound, and 6 assists as he had 5 fouls on the day in 33 minutes. In the 33 minutes, Kyle Lowry would shoot 10 for 15 from the field, 1 for 4 from 3, and 3 for 3 from the free throw line. And for the Boston Celtics, off the bench, their point guard out of Oregon, Peyton Pritchard, would finish with 20 points and 5 rebounds in 29 minutes, shooting 6 for 10 from the field, 6 for 8 from 3, and a perfect 2 for 2 from the line. Their starting power forward, Semi Ojeleye, would lead the team in scoring as he finished with 24 points. He and Kyle Lowry both tied for the game high. Ojeleye would finish with 24 points and 6 rebounds in 30 minutes as he shot 8 for 12 from the field, 6 for 8 from 3, and a perfect 2 for 2 from the line. Outside of him, their elite starting small forward, Jason Tatum out of Duke, go Duke, would finish with 17 points, 6 rebounds, 9 assists, and 2 steals. As Tatum shot 5 for 13 from the field in 36 minutes, he shot 1 for 3 from 3 and a perfect 6 for 6 from the line. And additionally, their elite starting point guard, Kemba Walker, would finish with 21 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists in 30 minutes as he shot 5 for 12 from the field, 5 for 8 from 3, and a perfect 6 for 6 from the line. With this win, the Boston Celtics are 13-11, which is the 4th best record in the Eastern Conference. They are half a game behind the 3rd place Brooklyn Nets, and they are 4 games behind the 1st place 76ers. And with this loss, the Toronto Raptors are 12-14, which ties them with the Charlotte Hornets for the 6th best record in the Eastern Conference. They are 1 game behind the 13-13 Indiana Pacers, as they are 6 full games behind the 1st place 76ers with this loss. Jumping out to Detroit, the Detroit Pistons hosted the Indiana Pacers, speaking of the team that are sitting 5th in the East, and the Pacers were able to beat the Pistons 111-95 after outscoring the Pistons by 16 in the second half. In this game for the Detroit Pistons, their leading scorer would come off the bench as their shooting guard, Josh Jackson, would finish with 18 points and 8 rebounds in 24 minutes, shooting 6 for 10 from the field and 6 for 8 from the free throw line. Their elite starting power forward, Blake Griffin, would finish with 16 points, 3 rebounds, and 6 assists in 33 minutes, shooting 5 for 13 from the field, 1 for 6 from 3, and a perfect 5 for 5 from the line. For the Indiana Pacers, their leading scorer would be their starting power forward, Domantas Sabonis, who finished with 26 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, 3 steals, and 2 blocks in 38 minutes as he shot 9 for 14 from the field, 2 for 4 from 3, and 6 for 7 from the free throw line. With this win, the Indiana Pacers are 13-13 and sitting at 500. They have the 5th best record in the Eastern Conference as they are 1 game behind the 4th place Boston Celtics, and they are 5 games behind the 1st place Philadelphia 76ers. And with this loss, the Detroit Pistons are 6-19 with the worst record in the Eastern Conference, and they are now tied with the Minnesota Timberwolves for the worst record in the entire NBA. And jump into the last game of the night, the 5th and final game. The Golden State Warriors hosted the Orlando Magic, and they were able to pull up a 111-105 win, especially following the 3rd quarter in which they outscored Orlando by 12, and they also outscored Orlando by 10 in the 1st quarter. In this game for the Orlando Magic, off the bench, their shooting guard Terrence Ross would finish with 20 points and 6 rebounds, as well as 3 blocks in 41 minutes, as Ross shot 8 for 27 from the field and 2 for 3 from the free throw line. Their starting small forward, Dwayne Bacon, would finish with 20 points in 37 minutes, shooting 7 for 18 from the field, 4 for 7 from 3, and a perfect 2 for 2 from the line. And the Orlando Magic leading scorer would be their starting center, Nikola Vucevic, who finished with 25 points, 13 rebounds, and 5 assists in 38 minutes, shooting 8 for 23 from the field, 3 for 6 from 3, and a perfect 6 for 6 from the line. And for the Golden State Warriors in this matchup, their starting small forward, Andrew Wiggins, would finish with 21 points and 7 rebounds, as well as 3 blocks in 34 minutes, as Wiggins shot 8 for 13 from the field and 3 for 5 from the free throw line. And the Golden State Warriors leading scorer and the best player from the night would end up being Stephen Curry, their goated starting point guard, who finished with 40 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, and 4 steals, as well as 6 turnovers in 37 minutes, as he shot 14 for 26 from the field, 10 for 19 from 3, and a perfect 2 for 2 from the line. With this win, the Golden State Warriors are 14-12, which is the 8th best record in the Western Conference. They and the Denver Nuggets are currently half a game behind the 6th place San Antonio Spurs. As a whole, the Warriors are 6.5 games behind the first place Utah Jazz in the conference. With this loss, the Orlando Magic are 9-17, which is the 3rd worst record in the Eastern Conference, as they are 9 whole games behind the Philadelphia 76ers. Those were the games from last night, from Thursday. Looking forward to what's going on tonight, starting with the primetime matchups. At 7:30, the Dallas Mavericks are going to host the New Orleans Pelicans, as Zion Williamson and Luka Doncic face off against one another. And following that game, at 10 o'clock, the defending champions Los Angeles Lakers will host the Memphis Grizzlies. Outside of those two games, at 7 o'clock, the Hornets are going to host the Timberwolves. The Wizards are going to host the Knicks as well. At 7:30, the Hawks are going to host the San Antonio Spurs. At 8 o'clock, the Chicago Bulls are going to host the Los Angeles Clippers, and the Boston Celtics are going to host the Detroit Pistons. At 9 o'clock, the Denver Nuggets are going to host the Oklahoma City Thunder, and the Utah Jazz the West leading Utah Jazz are going to host the Milwaukee Bucks, who are sitting close to the top of the East. At 10 o'clock, the Trailblazers are going to host the Cavaliers, and also at 10 o'clock, the Sacramento Kings are going to host the Orlando Magic. Jumping quickly to what's going on with college basketball following last night's performances. 20th ranked USC went to unranked Washington, and they were able to beat the Huskies 69-54 behind Evan Mobley's 17 points and 7 rebounds. With this win, 20th ranked USC is now 16-3, and they are 10-2 in the Pac-12. With this loss, unranked Washington is 3-15 on the season, as they are 2-11 in the Pac-12. And unranked Minnesota hosted 24th ranked Purdue. And Minnesota was able to pull off the 3-point win, 71-68, behind Marcus Carr's 19 points and 5 assists. With this win, unranked Minnesota is now 13-7, as they are 6-7 in the Big Ten. With this loss, 24th ranked Purdue is 13-8, as they drop to 8-6 in the Big Ten. Looking forward to what's going on today. The only top 25 team that's going to be playing today is 6th ranked Illinois, as they face off against Nebraska in Nebraska on Big Ten Network at 9 o'clock. Jumping really quickly to what's going on in the NHL, because that season is starting to get underway, but they're only playing teams within their own division, of course, with COVID and everything. So starting off in Winnipeg, the Jets were able to beat the Senators 5-1. As they were able to get their 8th win on the season. And with this win, the Jets are sitting 4th in the North Division, as they are 6 points behind the first place Toronto Maple Leafs. The Pittsburgh Penguins were able to beat the New York Islanders in a shootout 4-3, as they were able to get their 6th win of the season. With this win, the Pittsburgh Penguins are sitting 5th in the East Division, as they are currently 7 points out of first place behind the Boston Bruins. The Florida Panthers are able to beat the Tampa Bay Lightning 5-2, as 3 of their goals came in the second period to get their 8th win of the season. With this win, the Florida Panthers are sitting 2nd in the Central Division, as they are 1 point behind the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Columbus Blue Jackets were able to beat the Chicago Blackhawks 6-5, as 4 of their goals came in the third period. For the Blue Jackets, their right winger Atkinson finished with 3 assists on the night. Big scoring performance from both sides, but only the Blue Jackets come away with this win. With this win, they are sitting 3rd in the Central Division, as they are 2 points behind the Tampa Bay Lightning in the division. The Nashville Predators hosted the Detroit Red Wings and were able to beat them 3-2 in order to get their 6th win of the season. With this win, the Nashville Predators are sitting 2nd from the bottom of the second division, as they are 7 points out of first place behind the Tampa Bay Lightning. And the Montreal Canadiens hosted the Edmonton Oilers, and the Edmonton Oilers were able to blank the Canadiens 3-0 to get their their 9th win of the season. With this win, the Edmonton Oilers are currently sitting 3rd in the North Division, as they, alongside the Canadiens, are 5 points behind the Maple Leafs out front. The Carolina Hurricanes were able to beat the Dallas Stars 5-3, as they scored two goals in both the second and the third period to separate themselves and get their 8th win of the season. With this win, the Carolina Hurricanes are sitting fourth in the Central Division, as they are currently 3 points behind the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Calgary Flames are able to beat the Vancouver Canucks 3-1 to get their 7th win of the season. And with this win, the Calgary Flames are sitting 5th in the North Division, as they are 8 points behind the Maple Leafs and out up north. The Anaheim Ducks were able to go to Las Vegas and pull off the 1-0 win as Comtois. Sorry if I butchered your name, but Comtois' goal in the third period would give the Ducks what they needed to get their 6th win of the season. With this win, the Ducks are sitting 4th in the West Division, as they are 2 points out of first place behind the Golden Knights. And then last but not least, the Los Angeles Kings hosted the San Jose Sharks, and after scoring 3 goals in both the first and the third periods, the Los Angeles Kings were able to get their 4th win of the season. And with this win, they're still sitting at the bottom of the table, or the bottom of the West Division, as they, alongside the Sharks, are both 6 points behind the West Division leading Las Vegas Golden Knights. And now with that said, looking forward to what's going on with today's hockey. There's only 2 big games. At 9 o'clock, the only primetime game will be the Arizona Coyotes hosting the St. Louis Blues on ESPN on ESPN Plus at 9 o'clock. And then last but not least, jumping out to what's going on with soccer. I'm with everything. I'm going to start with the English FA Cup, because there were teams that were advanced to the next round. Most notably, Chelsea was able to advance off of their 1 goal from Tammy Abraham in the 64th minute. And outside of that, there was the FIFA Club World Cup, where you had the teams that won their own continental club tournament. In the third place game, Al Ahly, the Egyptian champions, or the best team in Africa, the team that represented Africa, they would eventually win on penalty kicks over Palmeiras, which is a Brazilian team that represented South America. And in the actual final for the FIFA Club World Cup, Bayern Munich, the German champions, would end up beating Tigres, which is the Mexican team, the team that represented North America. And with this, Bayern Munich will have won their 6th trophy under Hansi Flick, and they have won in every competition that they have been able to win with. That's pretty much the storyline at this point. They have won the Bundesliga, the DFB Pokal, which is the German domestic cup. They won the Champions League in 2019-2020, and after winning the Bundesliga and the Pokal, they qualified for the German Super Cup, which they won. After winning Champions League, they qualified for the UEFA Super Cup, where they beat the winner of the Europa League, which was Sevilla. So that was their 5th trophy. And by winning Champions League and by winning the Super Cup, they were the team that represented Europe in the FIFA Club World Cup. And they were the team that would... And they're the team that would emerge as the world champions. So that is what went down in soccer yesterday. And looking forward to what's going on today for the 12th. No big games today as we prepare for a big weekend of soccer. And I'll get into the weekend of soccer as we progress through today's exhibitions, and we get into it tomorrow. But with that said, I want to thank everyone once again for listening to all 18 minutes of this piece. Today is Friday, February 12th, 2021, out here in this quarantine. I want to thank everyone once again, and I will get back with everyone tomorrow on Saturday, February 13th, 2021. Once again, I am James Sims. Thank you for listening to my piece, and peace out. I'll catch you tomorrow.